Osama bin Laden was a hero. Oh, this is going to be good. Okay, please elaborate.
So I'm not going to fact check all of the stuff that she, listed in this video because it's just, we got way too much time. Or excuse me, I got way too little time. It's 10 o'clock and I still got a few hours left before I want to go to bed and get ready for school tomorrow. So whatever. I'm just going to address the portion of the video that I stitched. So that was mainly what I came here to talk about because I was just, verbalizing some thoughts to myself about the whole Gen Z praising Osama allegedly, situation. And I thought, to make them playing through TikTok. So the biggest thing that I have to say about this is, number one, obviously, people are not praising Osama bin Laden. They're not praising this man. Okay? And to debunk one of the points that you made in the video, even though I said I wasn't going to do this, she said something about Osama bin Laden being rich and born of a billionaire and this, that, and the third, and that, he was not oppressed. What does that have to do with him fighting for his people who were? Now, no one's approving of the way that he did it, but, or at least I'm not. But, I don't know enough about any of that to even try to do something like that. But, really, are we serious? Like George Soros and any other billionaire or millionaire in America can't support a political cause because they're a billionaire? Like billionaires don't run over to Asia and Africa all the time, giving money philanthropically, for certain charities and causes because the people are suffering. Is that not what we want people to do, allegedly? So, you pretending that just because he one, person from the Middle East was doing well, that means that nobody from the Middle East was suffering or from his area was suffering. That's ridiculous. But the way that she just conflated all of that, all of the videos of younger people, Gen Zers and millennials, verbalizing how they did not know that America was as corrupt as it has been, and that a lot of what Osama was critiquing was actual shit that they, agree needs to be critiqued about America. That's all these people are saying. And the way that she made it seem as though people who are in these generations are praising Osama bin Laden is ridiculous. Because it's just I was at a dinner for my birthday, which was October 5th, And I was with my old foster dad. He's white. And he had me in his care when I was about 14, 15 years old, and he was about 28 or so. And it's crazy because that was the age I was before my birthday this year. And, what do you call it? They only had me in their house for 6-7 months, and they gave me up, even though, whatever, I won't get into all that. But, foster kid blues. But, he and his wife are obviously white. They are I think they're both from California. And, they, have white families. There's not too much mixing going on. I don't know anybody who has mixed outside of white in their families. And they have been raised mostly around white people, to my knowledge. And they surround themselves mostly with white people. I grew up around some of their friends, and none of them were anything other than white. And I say all that to say that, to introduce the thing that we were talking about, the discussion we were having at the table. We were having a debate, basically, about Gandhi. And no, it wasn't just centering Gandhi, but it was about Gandhi and about other people throughout history who have done terrible things and how we should see them with our modern eyes and minds. And it's just really weird to me because he was basically trying to get me to, well, number one, he tried to deny that Gandhi was racist. And he didn't know anything about the racist history that Gandhi has very, publicly shared with the, general public, with the layman folk, the common folk. And it's just weird because it's just like, so many, if you read enough of Gandhi's writings, you would know this. And this is a man who, I believe he has his doctorate, because I think you have to have that to be able to be in the field that he's in, and this, that, and the third. So it's just like weird to me because it's just like, okay, so like you are a man who, because the way he looked at me, you should have seen the way he looked at me when I brought up Gandhi being racist. Immediately after that, I said, he denied it, of course. And then I said, well, no. And I was like, this is something about when he set himself on fire. And then he's like, Gandhi never set himself on fire. And the way he looked at me was, it's that look that a lot of Black people and a lot of people in general are used to getting when people look at you like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and like you're just the dumbest person in the world. And like everything they thought about you, especially Black people, you know what I mean? Everything they thought about you being stupid that they tried to deny was true, is now proven to be true. And you really are just dumb. Like, really, you're that stupid. That's how he looked at me. I know it was a lot to get from like a look, but it's what I got. And of course, I immediately corrected myself and said, I'm sorry. I always confuse him with Tibetan monks, because it was the same time in my life when I first learned about Gandhi. It was around the same time in my life when I learned about the Buddhists or Tibetan monks, I forget who they were, who set themselves on fire in protest of, what they were fighting over there. I think it was religious oppression and this, that, and the third. But it's just weird to me how, but as soon as I corrected that, I had to, do some research and let him know, and I got to the point where I read so many instances of Gandhi being racist in his own writings that he finally had to tell me, okay, Lynn, I get it. Like, it seems it's very extensively documented that he was racist. And I was just like, I hate when people act like that, when they would expect you to be so adult about you, being proven wrong. But, that I digress with that. But it's just really funny because we then went on to talk about slave masters and, how he doesn't feel that people should be judged in the same way that we would judge someone who owned a slave today. We shouldn't be able to go back in time and judge those people who own slaves. And I'm just like, what a weird argument to make. Like, what a very weird argument to make. So you believe that just 80 years ago or so, it makes sense or even 120 years ago, it makes sense for someone to have owned someone else, a human being, and enslaved them and treated them to the horrendous fucking treatment that enslaved people had to endure. Like, you actually think that we can't look back and condemn those people for what they did? Knowing that there were white people who fought against slavery back then because they knew it was not okay. Knowing that there were people who were burning people alive and eating their body parts at barbecues. But I just wanted to point out how it's just so funny how people like Gandhi, who hated Black people, people like, white supremacist people who own people and enslave them, like, that type of shit, like, we have to be able to put our rose-tinted glasses on and look at that and not judge them harshly. But when you're looking at trying to be objective about the objections that a person considered a terrorist had, like, that's out of the question. You can't even give that any thought. You just have to condemn that person and never think about any truth that they might have told.